In a major escalation, the Trump administration has deployed approximately 2,000 federal agents to Minneapolis, Minnesota. FBI, DHS, HSI, and ICE targeting widespread industrial scale fraud in state administered social services programs, while 5 states have had $10 billion in federal funds frozen for social services programs.
You have an understanding that 1,000 whistleblowers running an account on X have come forward to expose fraud in Minnesota state agencies, and they have been entirely ignored by Tim Walz and have even been retaliated against. Is that accurate?
That is correct. Even this morning, I got another message.
Make no mistake, we should be concerned about fraud in our state government. We cannot effectively deliver programs and services if we can't earn the public's trust.
The Tim Walz administration has utterly failed to protect Minnesota taxpayers and vulnerable citizens, ignoring years of credible reports and retaliating against those who spoke up, often by claiming they were racist or Islamophobic.
So today, if someone asks me, should I report fraud within DHS? I say, no, no, no. It is career suicide plus a whole lot more. In our face-to-face meetings with a group of whistleblowers, they revealed that retaliation now includes threats of being fired with cause, which means you do not get unemployment insurance in the state of Minnesota, being blacklisted from all state agencies. And then there was a veiled threat of the use of military intelligence against them. They later informed me that it was discovered that in some targeted employees or suspected whistleblowers' personnel files were pictures of their homes and their cars. They also described that supervisors asked them questions about their families that to them felt like a threat. One example was, we need to know where your kids go to school and where their bus stops are.
Fending off the links to fraud, Governor Tim Walz has nervously welcomed federal cooperation.
We have a requirement that the House run an audit, which they did not do. You are the gatekeepers on this. Demand that there's data practices, and if they have emails showing that I have committed fraud, you should get those.
Which agency will provide oversight? Who will be the investigators? Will it be audited? How often? Will the Attorney General's office play a role in that?
Those conducting oversight will, to a certain extent, probably make themselves known to us.
While Attorney General Keith Ellison has already been exposed.
Your office was involved when Feed in Our Future was sued for the first time.
And I'll call them in my office and demand some explanations. Right?
I'm one of them, those guys you're talking about. April 30th, I got shut down and they put me on BIOS.
You say April?
April 30th.
Yeah.
You mean throughout the whole summer and the fall?
Yep. And
You ain't got no money since then?
No, yeah. I have like 10 pilots sitting up to that safari.
Attorney General Keith Ellison was focused on one thing and one thing only, and that was keeping these folks in business. There were no questions that he asked of these folks about how the kids are doing, the operation, how they're getting fed, who's being helped. Instead, the focus was entirely on ensuring that the money continues to flow. And I'll add that he went so far as to say that he was going to fight these people in reference to the state agencies. The state agencies are his client.
Yeah. And when you said money's going to flow, did money flow to Mr. Ellison's campaign a couple weeks later from some of the folks who were in that meeting?
Sure did.
How much, do we know how much that was?
I do not have that number.
So it wasn't just overlooking the fraud. They were actively trying to make sure this program continued, and then they benefited from that politically with contributions to their campaign, all in this same year, all in 2021, when this was all coming to a head. Is that accurate?
That is my understanding.
Meanwhile, America asks, why are we even paying taxes? The United States collects roughly $2.4 trillion annually in individual federal income taxes. Following long-needed investigations and reform, the real fraud numbers could exceed the taxpayers' contribution. Meanwhile, Somalia had billions in debt forgiven as it digs itself further into the pockets of the American taxpayer.
The full scope of the problem is not just criminal fraud, but a culture of profiting from government programs in perpetuity, not as a safety net, but as an industry. I've personally met and had discussions with folks who identify themselves as consultants for multiple entities accepting government benefits. They have made a career out of showing people how to leverage the gaps in government oversight to maximize benefit payments.
Was there any threat of a lawsuit from the Somali community and folks affiliated with Feeding Our Future?
Mr. Jordan, there was more than a threat. They actually did it.
They did? And what was the alleged claim in that lawsuit?
That they were victims of racial discrimination.
Oh, they played the race card, huh? All this fraud going on, money going out, and they played the race card.
The fraud hearings won't just be another wrist slapping for the DC Country Club. These thieves have finally awakened the sleeping giant. John Bound reporting for InfoWars.
Welcome to the show. Want to make sure I got good sound because we're doing some adjustments to everything. So let me just check to make sure I got good sound. Because yeah, it sounds good. Let me know in the chat if it doesn't sound right because we're doing some adjustments to the system today. It sounds good. My earpiece died, so we're doing it the old school way here. So welcome to the show. January 10th, 2025, 2026. Saturday Night Live. Thank you for being here. Want to just cover a couple things that we covered last night. I just want to make sure that everybody's clear about the information that we have, because this is what happens is, the media, or these what do you want to call them, left-wing activists, they all come out and they say that Renee Good was killed, murdered by a officer that was unhinged, the whole thing. Well, I have video of before the altercation, how they were blocking ICE for 3 minutes before ICE finally came up to the door of the car, and when that whole interaction went down where she bumped or ran into the ICE officer. I want to say this. I'm just really serious. This is a serious question. This is not like a hyperbolic or some sarcasm or nothing like that. I really want to know, since when is it okay to ever interfere with any officer of the law's job? I'll wait. I'll wait. We got sheriffs talking about arresting ICE officers if they pick up any more illegal aliens in their area. I mean, just this crazy stuff, man. And I'm just like, what is going on here? What happened? What happened to America? Like, they all, and I am not kidding, every one of them that says something like that, or Christy Noem needs a bullet in the head, or whatever these things that they say are, they need to be arrested. All of them. Doesn't matter if you're the mayor of a city, or you're the governor of a state, or you're a sheriff of a district, or whatever. If you're putting out that kind of hate, you should be arrested. And yeah, I know, you got the black pillars are going to come out and say, oh, it's free speech. No, not really. Not when you're threatening violence. I think that's where you cross the line. I know that if I was threatening violence to anybody, they would come kick my door in, put me face down on the ground for 3 hours while they ransacked my house, interrupted everybody's evening because I said something on the internet that was foul, because it is foul. But for some reason, I don't know what it is or how or why or how this is even possible, but we have all these left-wing activist people in office, in state and government offices, talking this way. I mean, it's, it's one thing if keyboard warriors doing it, and you kind of expect that from somebody that's on SSRIs and is all whacked out, but it doesn't make sense for a government official, state or federal, to do such a thing. One, stokes fear. It stokes the fire. It's like putting gasoline on a fire. Here we are. And I just don't understand it. So I guess it goes back to 2020, really, when you think about it. It goes back to 2021, 2020, when cops could not do their job because anytime they did their job, they got arrested, not the provocateur. And they think that today in 2026, that's going to fly, and it's not going to fly. It is absolutely not going to fly. I'll tell you right now, what's going to end up happening is people are going to end up in jail. That's what's going to happen. That's really what's going to happen. So let's hope that something happens to calm this down, because it's out of control. Like, you got the left wing going after the right wing, which at this point is all the same. It's the government people against the satanic cult members should be against the Christians. That's what it seems like. The good against the evil against that kind of thing. It's really what it seems like. But when you boil it down, it definitely seems like it's whatever it is. It's stirring the pot to a very, very high level. So anyway, all right, here we go. Let's get into this. Tim Walz, he's another one. He should just be arrested. I mean, can you think of a better person that should be in handcuffs right now than Tim Walz? I think the last count was $54 billion that was stolen from the American people for the Somali daycare centers in his city. Yeah, 54 billion with a B. Well, it was 24, then it went to 30. Just keeps going up and up. It's probably 150 by now. And so, very interesting for sure. Anyway, so this will be a shorter one. I just want to start off with we're going to start right here. I just have a few clips. We're just going to be here for a little bit, but I wanted to clear up the record and cover this thing with what General Flynn has found out about Mike Johnson from doing a small amount of research. This is what happens, right? So, we're going to get into this quick reminder of what that governor in Minnesota has to say.
To hear this from me, the desire to get out and protest and to speak up to this administration of how wrong this is, that is a patriotic duty at this point in time.
Okay, it looks like they are throwing snowballs as the officers are leaving. So again, I believe it was a state patrol, and we did see some MPD officers who were leaving that scene. Hennepin County telling us that their sheriff's deputies have not been on that scene, but it looks like as officers are leaving the scene, just having some protesters or bystanders, agitators, throwing some snowballs at them as they leave. We saw this earlier.
We did.
Well.
Yep, we saw this exact thing earlier, and this was targeted toward ICE agents at that particular time. But now, as you mentioned, this is MPD, BCA was on scene, the sheriff's department as well. And as this street is opening up here, you can see a lot of these protesters, these people in the community responding to this. And now we're having an aerial view here of what we have been seeing. What we did see earlier, and now it's once again, you can see them throwing some of those snowballs at those vehicles, some of which we can see have just drove off as well.
Yeah.
People can use this as a teaching moment.
Yeah. So Tim Wall's talking about it's okay to, interrupt ICE agents. It's your duty. All of a sudden now it's your duty to do this. Not, to peacefully protest, but to get, it's like, what's her name? The congresswoman from California, talking about getting their face, interrupt their day, right? Anyway, it's crazy. This shit's crazy. All right, so Antifa dude is out now. He's talking about what's going on. He's letting you know what your duty is as well. He's letting you know that to get out there and interrupt is the thing to do. Let's listen to what he's got to say.
My name is Kyle, and I am Antifa, and I am the individual who posted to Instagram a week ago, 5 days ago, telling a Nazi here in Minneapolis that he wasn't welcome here. And I think we've all since agreed that that was the right thing to do. And I've seen an amazing outpouring of support, and I've seen a lot of people waking up to the reality of what's going on. And that's good because this part is really important. Okay. We are under occupation, and this is what the founding fathers gave us the Second Amendment for. Okay. Everybody needs to take a moment for themselves to take inventory and decide where they stand on this. We aren't all necessarily the ones that need to go and confront them, but the ones that are need to go and do so. Stand on the right side of history.
This is for Christy Nome. I hope somebody puts one in the center of your forehead. I'm not talking about a zit, bitch.
This is what we got right now. This is where we're at. We have, keyboard warrior or not. Why are these people allowed to do this thing? It's threats of violence is completely different than peaceful protest. I mean, unless it didn't get to my desk if this was okay now. But apparently, if you're a left-wing activist or whatever you want to call it, protester, it's okay. It's like when we were doing the in 2020 when it was a mostly peaceful protest with buildings burning down behind the CNN host or whatever it was. This is where we're at. This is just where we're at now. I want to cover this because I think it's important that we. I'm going to play the John Brown report, and then I'm going to follow it up with the the video of Miss Good, Renee Good, the mother of three, the person that was, because I've heard all the stories. Oh, she was just dropping her kids off at school, right? That one, right? The one that was holding her horn down for 3 minutes and blocking the street so ICE couldn't get by, and then running into an ICE officer, and then ended up, you know, getting killed. I mean, it's horrible that happened. And this is what happens when you have all these political figures, all these police officers, these governors and mayors, and all these people stoking the flames of violence. You got people talking about, this is what the Second Amendment's for. The Second Amendment is another story we should talk about at another time. But that really is about when you have a tyrannical government. I haven't seen a tyrannical government since Joe Biden was in office, just to be clear, when they were letting, millions of illegal aliens into our country by the month. Millions. Somewhere between 20 and 35 million illegals came into this country between 2021 and 2025 when Trump took office. Just saying. And for the record, we've deported less illegals in the last year than Obama had in a year. Just to be clear, just saying. Just for the record. But it's this big thing because ICE agents are going to these places and finding these illegals that are on their list. They're usually the violent ones and, different things like that. There are others, if they go to a place and they're to pick up one of these people that have sex crimes and drug charges and murder and rape and all these different things. But if someone else is there and and their paperwork's not straight, they're going to jail too, right? They're getting picked up, they're getting taken in as well. But this is what we're dealing with here. So anyway, back to the point. Back to the point. Stand by. Let me get the right screen up here. All this. Stand by.
I'm not mad at you. Show your face. I'm not mad at you. It's okay. We don't change our plates every morning, just so you know. It'll be the same plate when you come talk to us later. That's fine. U.S. citizen.
Yeah, just dropping her kid off, right?
You want to come at us? I say go get yourself some lunch, big boy. Go ahead.
Out of the car. Get out of the car. Get out of the car.
Oh!
Renee Nicole Good wasn't a lot of things, but she also wasn't someone that deserves to be used to further divide Americans by the desperation of a governor and a mayor drowning in an ongoing fraud investigation.
Our police, many of whom are Somali themselves, are trusted partners in keeping people safe. They will not collaborate with any federal agency around doing immigration enforcement work. They will not cooperate with ICE agents. Minneapolis will continue to be a safe haven for undocumented immigrants. In Minneapolis, we have your back. You will be protected and respected by our city employees, regardless of your immigration status. I have a message for ICE. To ICE, get the out of Minneapolis.
Minnesotans, don't take the bait. Do not take the bait. Do not allow them to deploy federal troops into here. Do not allow them to invoke the Insurrection Act. Do not allow them to declare martial law.
She also doesn't deserve to be used by the Mockingbird media as gasoline to be thrown on a fire.
As the vehicle passes, you can see the dark-colored SUV driven by Renee Nicole Good. That's on the right there in the back. The surveillance video taken by a home nearby. Agents can be seen milling about near the vehicle, then converging on it. And then you see right there the SUV begins to move, and that's when the shots are fired.
There's not the slightest doubt in your mind, having viewed it, that the victim
you still believe that she deliberately tried to ram him despite seeing this video?
Look, I don't know what is in a person's heart or in a person's head, and obviously we're not going to get the chance to ask this woman what was going on. What I am certain of is that she violated the law. If people want to say that we should have a legitimate debate about, what was she really doing, right? Was she panicking when she drove into this officer, or was she actually trying to ram him? That's a reasonable conversation. What's not reasonable is for so many of you to plaster all over the media that this was an innocent woman and that the ICE agent committed murder, which is what many of you have said explicitly and some of you have said implicitly.
She also wasn't at the wrong place at the wrong time. And she wasn't merely a legal observer. She was an anti-ICE radical and apparently knew exactly what she was doing.
They clearly wanted her out of there because she was the main car leading the protest, is my understanding. I talked to another guy who was driving behind her, but she was very successful in blocking traffic. She was doing what she was set out to do, and so they wanted to get her the hell out of there. Yeah.
So it looked like she was impeding ICE vehicles.
Definitely, yeah. Okay. That was her goal.
Did you guys know that she had enrolled her kid in a charter school in Minneapolis that was training parents to fight ICE? Because she absolutely did. The New York Post has an article out where they dug into this Southside family charter school a little bit. Apparently, this school is where Renee Good, who was fairly new to Minneapolis, was introduced to ICE protesting in the first place. Oddly enough, this school sounds way worse than a Leering Center. It was opened in 1972 to have an unabashed focus on social justice education. No, really, this is straight from their website. We integrate social justice into every grade level, telling the stories of the people, not the people in power, and helping students understand history and their role in making the world a better place. A gym teacher who retired last month said that current events like George Floyd were a regular part of the curriculum. This is for little kids. So the article goes on to say that it was through her involvement with the community at Southside Family Charter School that Renee Good got involved with ICE Watch, a group dedicated to disrupting ICE.
And clearly her wife knew as well.
You want to come at us? I say go get yourself some lunch, big boy. Go ahead.
So as the left continues down this path, it appears that Renee Good will only be the first of many. John Bound, reporting.
Yeah, so I just wanted you to see that full clip. That is before, right after that moment is when the altercation happens. When that cop comes back around to the front of the car and she gasses it and hits him in the leg, and he takes 3 shots in the windshield. So that's how that happened. So if you want to say that she was just, lost, or she was just dropping her kid off at school, or whatever the story is that the leftists are attempting to push, which is complete ridiculous, because she was literally standing on her horn for that whole time. You heard her horn for like 3 minutes, and it's sad because we expect much more than that from American citizens in America. You would think. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm off. Maybe I'm just wrong. I don't know what I'm talking about. That's possible. I mean, maybe I'm the dipshit and I don't know what's going on. Anyway, that's all for that for today. I want to cover this thing about General Flynn though. So well, let me set this up with this video first, and then we'll come back and we'll do the General Flynn video where General Flynn's talking about Mike Johnson. Stand by.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have massive breaking news. General Michael Flynn has come out and said that him and his team have investigated Speaker Mike Johnson. And the reason that Speaker Mike Johnson is refusing to investigate corruption in Minnesota and other states is because his PAC is receiving money from the Somali child care centers. Listen, retired Lieutenant General Michael Flynn has leveled explosive allegations against Speaker of the House Mike Johnson, claiming that a lack of accountability regarding massive taxpayer fraud in Minnesota is linked to Speaker's own financial networks. In a recent statement, the former National Security Advisor suggested that his private investigation into the robbery of American taxpayers led him directly to the door of the House leadership. Stated that he began looking into the lack of federal movement on the Minnesota daycare fraud cases. Speaker Johnson, what are you going to say about this? What the hell is going on, Speaker Johnson? But I'm not shocked, because if you really think about it, who has subpoena and investigation power more than anyone else? The House of Representatives. Why aren't they doing anything about it? Because that will hurt their money. There are snakes everywhere. But if this is true, Mike Johnson needs to go to prison. God bless you. I'll keep you updated. Stay tuned.
So people know, and I'm very transparent about what I'm doing out there for the most part. I am in the process because I want Speaker Johnson to do more. And so we started looking at Speaker Johnson's PACs and how many of his PACs turn money back around to daycare and healthcare clinics and that kind of stuff. It's incredible the amounts of money, and that's one person, but he happens to be the Speaker of the House. So this is not a partisan thing for me.
So that's big allegations. Now, this is the thing about this. So we go back to when Speaker Johnson got elected as the Speaker of the House. And he made all those big things, all that big talk about how he's not going to pass any bills and this and that. And he's going to make sure that, we're only going to pass single bills and all that stuff. And we're not going to have no more pork bills and all this stuff. And then and then he gets in there, and then he comes out and he makes this horrible bill. That was the very first one that he did. Omnibus bill, whatever it was, one of those bills. And then since then, it just continues, where he tells you that he's going to do one thing, but he does something completely different. Almost like it seems like they have him blackmailed. Now, so this really reveals to us what we've been wondering about Speaker Johnson, because nothing has happened since he's been there. Everything that we've had an opportunity to get something accomplished, he's dropped the ball. If it's not sending money to Ukraine or sending money to Israel, anything other than those two things, everything gets the ball dropped on. It just doesn't happen. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with this. I'm very concerned about what we're talking about here and where this is going to go and how this is going to end up, because at the end of the day, we just want the truth. We want the corruption gone. We want to get back to some normalcy that we haven't had in 50 years. And so that we can just, not have to worry about this kind of stuff, because this is big. The corruption all over this country is out of control. California, from California to New York, it's just everywhere. It's in every city, especially the big cities, mostly the blue cities, but in all the cities, red included, Democrat, Republican, they're all the same. They're all robbing us blind, and we need to do something about it. And I'm hoping that something happens soon about this, because it is starting to piss people off. And you've seen it. I don't have to keep showing you the clips. People are pissed. People are genuinely pissed off, and they feel like they've been lied to by the president and by the cabinet and by all these people that are in office, talking this great stuff about what they're going to do when they, when we get elected, when we get past this midterm, when we get past this election, we get past this or that or the other thing, and nothing is happening. I mean, there are good things happening, but the things that are important to you and I, they're not happening. I think so. We'll see what happens. We'll definitely see what happens. I hope you all have a great rest of your weekend. Happy Saturday. Again, this is just a little check-in tonight, checking the system and, getting a couple things, across the wire for you. So, I would just suggest going to my Patriot Supply and getting like a 90-day supply of food, or getting a grid doctor or something. Use the code 843 on the end of it, or you can go to the end of my you can go in the what's it called, the comment section, and pull up my website there for my Patriot Supply. And I would definitely be thinking about getting restorable food, water treatment. I mean, if you have 6 months of food, you might be able to make it through. Who knows what's going to happen next, because we're like busting at the seams right now. So we'll see what happens. We'll see. Go to the comment section at the bottom of this, in the bottom of this clip. What the hell is it called? Oh yeah, the description. Go to the description where it says link to our sponsors, and check out My Patriot Supply. Do us a favor, buy something on there. Use our code there so that we get the credit for it. We really do appreciate it. We're doing our best to survive over here. God bless everybody. Have a good weekend. And we finally got a little bit of sunshine today. That was great. So that was good. Hopefully it's going to be clear again tomorrow. Cold in the morning, not like, Minnesota, but it's cold, but it's been warming up. So that's great. We've been able to get some stuff done outside. So really grateful for that. God bless you all, and we'll see you next week. Thank you. God bless.